Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning over here. The birds are chirping and the sun is just rising over the mountains over there. It looks beautiful, so it's not bright just yet, but the sun is gorgeous. I decided to do a very, very early morning video for you guys because I didn't do a video yesterday. I feel a little bad about that, but I did get a lot of work done, and it's actually beginning to make me wonder, should I be doing videos every 2 days perhaps? Let me know in the comments down below if the daily videos are that beneficial to you guys, because if I don't do daily videos, I'll be able to produce other types of content for you guys in the time in between, right? So let me know in the comments down below. I know a lot of you guys are going to be thinking, oh, I'm just going to let someone else answer for me, but hey, I am going to be listening to the loud minority, even if they are the minority. So voice your opinion, let me know. All right, so here we have Bitcoin. Well, here we have the Mango Research dashboard along with Bitcoin and all other coins, right? And as you can see, Bitcoin is still showing a short signal on its trending move. However, Link still showing long, where's BNB still showing long. And in our last video, which was around 2 days ago, we talked about how the tides might be turning, but I wasn't convinced yet because Bitcoin hadn't done what I'm looking for. All right. That being said, Link still looking good. BNB, I haven't looked at the charts since, but it's up 17%. I have been trading Link, and Link has given us some really, really good easy trades, and we'll be talking about that today. Bitcoin, however, is still making things a little difficult if you are playing the lower time frames, right? And that's what I want to talk about before we move on to the charts over here. Guys, do not make your life harder than it needs to be. All right, do not. Bitcoin right now is going to shake you out, going to chop you up, going to take your money if you get stuck on the lower time frames. Hell, even if you get stuck on the mid time frames. And by mid, I'm not referring to the 4 hour. 4 hour is a lower time frame, okay? At least to me. I know for some of you 4 hours a higher time frame, because lower time frame means 30-minute and 15-minute. By all means, do your thing, man. Over here at the Mango community, we are looking for the stress-free approach. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't apply all of these concepts to a lower time frame. Everything is applicable to all time frames, all right? But one of the reasons, well, the big reason I quit my job was because I did not want to get stuck in the grind, being a slave to the screen, being a slave to my boss. I wanted to spend time doing things that I loved, which was eating healthy, keeping fit, spending time with my gorgeous Krisha, spending time with the people I love. And hey, if I'm stuck in front of the charts all the time, I'm not going to be able to do that, right? So think about what you really want from life, right? If you really enjoy staring at the screen all day, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, some people really love it, right? By all means, go do you, man, go do you. But there are a lot of people who just want to enjoy a beautiful moment like this. And man, is it beautiful. Okay, so where was I going with this? Yeah, the higher time frames right now are difficult enough, okay? And when I say higher time frames, I'm talking about the daily, okay? Upwards from the daily, things are a lot more clearer, which is why I'm playing those time frames, right? We've been talking about that over the past few days. But guys, even the daily right now will chop you up. And what we're going to do today, is we're going to go through the time frames from higher time frame down to the lower time frame, step by step, and show you how things can be very, very stress-free if you guys are willing to make a few sacrifices. And the sacrifice that you have to make is simply saying, hey, you know what? I will avoid this excitement. I will avoid the excitement on the 30-minute chart. I will avoid having to take trades or wanting to take trades every freaking 30 minutes, every 2-3 hours, whatever it may be, right? If you're playing the 30-minute time frame, you will find yourself getting signals every like 2 or 3 hours at the very least. So you will have to sacrifice wanting to be in a trade all the time. And you do not have to be in a trade all the time, guys. That's one of the biggest things you will learn as a trader as you move on. The best trades are actually when you can sit back, think about the big picture, and capture the big moves. Why are they the best trades? Because they are the most fulfilling, they have the most impact on your life, and they free up the most time. Because more than money, guys, more than money, time is a more important resource. Now that was terrible English, but time is a far more scarce resource. It is the most scarce resource on the planet, right? So value your time, in my opinion. Again, I'm not here to be a freaking dad or anything like that. I'm not trying to lecture you, is what I'm trying to say, but these are just my thoughts. So let's get on over to the charts over here, and we are going to start with the monthly. I do think I have it open here. Yep, we're going to start with the monthly. And here's a question. Very simple. Would you long into this? Would you long this? Okay, it may not be clear from the get-go, but I don't think this is the spot around 7,200 Bitcoin sitting at right now. I don't think this is the spot that you'd want to long at. A good long would be somewhere around here, around 4,100, perhaps even 4,000-ish, somewhere around this zone over here. And there's another long. There was another long option around 6,300 to 6,400, right? Those were spots that, yes, you could long. If you are a little confused, if you do not see it right away by simply glancing at the chart, that's what the mango ribbon is for, right? All you have to do is turn on the mango ribbon, and what do you know? What do you know? The 21 EMA that has pretty much dictated whether Bitcoin is in a bull market or in a bear market for ever since like the beginning of its history is right over here, guys. It is acting as resistance. By the way, the mango ribbon is completely free. Link is down below. Simply click it. You will have your access. Okay, so I am not too keen over here. In fact, if you guys do remember, throughout the bull market, well, on the monthly at the very least, I was using the monthly 21 EMA as a guide, as support, right? When we lost that, that's when I started being bearish on Bitcoin. I'm like, you know what, until this turns around, I'm going to be very cautious on my long term positions, which is why I started even hedging my macro positions on my portfolio, on my investment portfolio for my long term. Okay, so this is what I've been using as a guide, and you need something like that. You need something to base your risk off. Now again, it depends on your strategy that you are employing, and your strategy may be completely different, right? Hell, some people, their strategy is Bitcoin is either going to $1 million or going to zero. Essentially, they're using it as a call option, and that's completely fine too. But again, when they are doing something like that, it is basically maybe 1% or 2% of their entire portfolio. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind, especially when the big multi-millionaires or the billionaires are talking about Bitcoin as either going to zero or going to million. That's what they are basing it off. 1% of their portfolio using it as a call option. If you guys don't know what a call option is, I'm likely going to do an introductory series on options, but I'm not too sure about that. I'm not sure whether many of you are too interested in that kind of thing, but I digress. You need something to base your risk off. Now, for me too, I am using Bitcoin as a call option, but not all of my Bitcoin as a call option, right? Some of my Bitcoin I have a different strategy for my long-term portfolio, okay, compared to my swing trading and my day trading strategies. They're all different. So either way though, then there's a risk-defined approach to what I do, and you need that too. Now, going back to what I was saying, right now, I am not too interested longing against this major resistance here if I was looking at the monthly time frame. Okay, it's very clear once you turn on the mango ribbon. Now let's move on to the weekly time frame. And what are we seeing over here? Oh, what do you know? The 10-kin is right over there. The 10 SMA on the weekly is right over there. The 21 EMA around 7,700. Okay, if you guys do remember, and I'm going to turn on the Ichimoku for this because we've been following this for a while. The Ichimoku, the Tenkin, losing the cloud, losing the Tenkin was one of our biggest reasons, the biggest signals to go bearish and take this trade towards the downside. Now, did I take the trade to the downside? No, I didn't, right? Again, my excuses. This was Krisha's birthday week. We were celebrating it, as you guys remember. I did not want to take any trades, and well, I missed out on this trade, right? But if you guys do remember, again, when it was around here, when we lost the Tenkin, when we opened underneath the Tenkin on that Monday morning, which drove us to put on that trade towards the downside over here, because this thing has been a really good guide for us for our long-term positions, or like swing trade positions at the very least, right? So if we are taking the short trade towards the downside when we're against this, why would we be so eager to take a long trade right over here? And you guys might be wondering, some of you might be wondering, Sean, why are you harping on about this? Well, you might be fine on this. You might be seeing this very clearly. But yesterday, I was receiving a lot of PMs, right? And my phone was buzzing because I was trying to stay away from Telegram on my desktop. I was seeing a lot of PMs where people were asking me whether they should be longing here, Sean. Bitcoin's going up. Should I long? Should I long? And I could read the FOMO in their text. Okay. And I want to show you guys, this is the FOMO crusher. This is the anti-FOMO chart right over here. Just turn on the weekly, turn on the monthly, all right? Okay, what is the downside to the monthly and the weekly? You have to wait a little bit longer to get your trade opportunities, but when you do, they are good trades, all right? They are more certain trades, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying time, a very scarce resource, for a good trade, all right, for some higher probability trades. But the time that you're paying, guys, is used simply and waiting and doing nothing, stress free, right? Find something else to do, and when your trade triggers, you can put on the trade. It's that waiting part that is so hard for so many people, and the reason for that, in my opinion, is, this is just my opinion but makes sense, is that we've grown up in a culture where we need to constantly be doing something. Okay, but do you guys not want to break out of that culture? Is that not why a lot of you guys want to be traders? Because you guys want to be different. We've grown up in a society where if you are doing nothing, you are considered a loser, right? But we want to break out of that society. We want to break out of that mindset. Doing nothing is amazing. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to think about the bigger things. And believe me, guys, thinking is hard. Try to just sit down and think for 1 hour, all right? Like, really think without daydreaming, without losing focus. It can get really exhausting. It took me years to just be able to think for the concentrated periods that I can think at now. Like, I can think for long durations, but it wasn't that way when I started. So use your time to not let the charts make you react all the time. Use your time to start thinking about the bigger things. While you guys are trying to make a few $1,000s on Bitcoin, are you losing a few $50,000 or $100,000 on your other portfolio? Okay, on your bigger, like, because some of your assets might be less liquid. Okay, so think about those things too. We are at a pivotal time, and manage everything, guys. Manage your relationships too, because I'm hearing people are struggling with that too, because they're stuck at home with their wives and they are not used to that. So manage that too. Okay, so this is the weekly. And by the way, guys, I've spoken to a lot of traders who've been in the space for like 20-25 years, and the one thing I keep coming across over and over again is them regretting not spending time with their loved ones. All right, and the reason I spoke to them, I spoke to these guys who have a lot of time in the space, is because I wanted to know, do I do this for a living or not? Because when I broke into when I was climbing the corporate ladder, right? If I started off as a junior software engineer, moved up, sales engineer, product manager, I was getting there, and I started getting those big paychecks, but I looked at my boss's life and I hated my boss's life. They were divorced, okay? They weren't happy. They were taking out their frustrations at the workplace in different ways, right? Even their freaking, you guys know what I mean by there are other types of frustrations, but I didn't want to live that life. I looked at that, I'm like, do I want to be that? Is that what I'm going to turn into? And I did not want that. So I'm not saying every workplace is like that, but it just wasn't for me. So I wanted to, before jumping to the trading world, okay, where am I going with this? And it's a beautiful morning. I'm going to just have a casual video with you guys. Where am I going with this? I got allured to that fancy big paycheck and that life and doing presentations in front of a big room full of fancy executives and all. I got attracted to that life, all right? And the thing is, you get attracted to the fanciness that you see that is presented to you, right? But do you want to live all the other things that come with it? And that was the part I was missing. So I spent so many years working up to that, And then I realized, damn, this is not what I really want. Yes, there's this shiny bauble that you're showing me over here that I can have, but at what cost? Similarly, before getting into the trading world, I wanted to know, is this what I really want? Yes, the money could be good. Yes, they're showing me this fancy bauble, but what's the life around it, right? So just think about that, and that's what I want to impart on you guys over here. Think about the life you really want to live, because even though I knew I wanted to dodge all of this when I started trading, I dodge all the bad stuff and keep the good stuff, I still got caught into staring at the charts. I got caught up staring at the lower time frames. You just end up doing that, and I make that mistake too every now and then. So try not to do that, because it's just too frustrating. It's too stressful, in my opinion. But if you enjoy it. Okay, going back on over to the weekly. We're still against the Tenkin, so there's no reason, at least for me, to be looking for longer term time frame, big trades to the upside until we close 7,200, close over 7,200. That's where the Tenkin is sitting at, right? You could literally mark out this entire zone over here too if you want to. 7,500. Be a little bit more cautious. Wait for either Bitcoin to close a candle above there or take out this wick over here. Okay, and then we know that, hey, there's further upside. You can maybe even target a move all the way to 8,500. Kijun is there. Why not? Okay, so let's actually, the first target would be, let's turn on the 21 EMA. First target would be here. Okay, 7,700, and then after that 8,790ish, 8,800. Okay, so that's the weekly time frame. Saw the monthly saying do not, there's no long opportunity here. Okay, weekly saying no long opportunity here. You'd be longing into resistance. You do not want to do that. We've talked about this for weeks now, over and over again. Do not long into resistance and do not short into support. Right, I made that mistake on one of the lower time frames, I believe, the 4 hour or the daily. Was it the daily? Yes, the daily. 5,850. I short into that. And why did I do it? Because I was getting greedy. Okay, this is what happened. The lower time frame broke the higher time frame resistance support, and I wanted to front run myself, and I got punished, right? So don't make my mistakes. That's what this channel is for, to learn from my mistakes, not just from the wins. In fact, learn more from my mistakes. Okay, now let's go on over to the 4-day, and this is the big mango secret. You guys know what great trades I've been taking off this. Now I don't think I've been showing this chart to you guys, and I intentionally don't do that sometimes, a lot of times actually, because I'm not here to spoon feed things to you guys. Okay, I show you guys a lot of my secrets, a lot of our secrets over here at the Mango Grove, at the Mango Seed. And by the way, if you guys just take a sneak peek into the Mango Seed program, or even talk to some of the newer members, by the way, Hachi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, welcome to the Mango Seed. Great guy, and you'll see that we are a lot less anxious. We are a lot more stress-free. Yes, we make mistakes. Yes, we don't take perfect trades, but we learn from our mistakes. We talk about it. We talk about the psychology behind everything. We aren't chasing trades. It's a lot more calm and stress-free. We're talking about other things. It gets exciting there, by all means. It gets exciting. We're talking about the charts. We're talking about what should we do. This could happen. That could happen. Blah, blah, blah. We're theorizing all the time, but we're not chasing moves. I want to impart that mindset to you guys who are watching at home as well. And I feel like I don't get enough time in these videos to do so, because even when I try to keep these videos short, they end up being like freaking 25 minutes long. I'm sure this video is going to be like 40 minutes long, but F it. Yesterday, the amount of messages that I was getting, I feel like I need to talk about these kind of things. You know, in the Mango Seed program, I get like modules and modules to talk about psychology, right? The entire program is embedded with psychology. In fact, the first two modules alone are about psychology, right? Thinking like a trader and reality of the markets. I get to prep all of the guys in the Seed program to think like a professional trader, as opposed to chasing trades like all the amateurs do, before we start talking about all the technical, the TA and conceptual fundamentals about the charts, right? And that is really helpful. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on over here. The 4-day time frame. What we're essentially looking at is the 200 moving average on the 4-day time frame, right? Now, we've been using this very well. Right over here, when we broke on over it and closed a 4-day candle above the 200 moving average on the 4-day time frame, what do? massive edge to edge trade on the cloud. Now over here we had the momentum going for us as well, right? Very similar to what's going on over here, but over here we seem to be stuttering. Okay, over here there was other things going on. If you guys were following throughout this entire move, this was one of our biggest wins that pretty much set us up, right, for not just the entire year that came, but even this year as well. That's how the compounding works, guys. And you just have to be patient for the big moves. Now, what happened since then? Well, came down based off the 4-day 200 moving average and had this major bounce to the upside. Now, if you guys do remember, I did not take my trade over here, right? What I did was I'd taken my trade somewhere around my leverage trade was somewhere around here, 7,700. I had bought spot on the first thrust down, but I did not take a leverage trade just yet. I was being a little bit more cautious, wanted to see a little bit more confirmation, and we took our leverage trade somewhere around here. Why? Because I took it off the higher time frame. I took it off the weekly. Now the 4-day was underneath, and we happened to come and stab into it and bounce aggressively. And what do you know? Simply gave it all back, close underneath. And what happened after that? Put in a massive, so you could call this an ascending triangle, a symmetrical triangle, call it what you will, doesn't matter, broke on over to the upside, right? That's what matters. We broke it to the upside, retested that ascending triangle. If you guys remember, this all happened while I was vacationing. I actually took this trade while I was on a beach, and this first entry, boom, right? Re-entered where? On the weekly level. If you guys think about it now, guys, I'm getting all my big trades on the higher time frames that are confluencing with the lower time frames. Over here, 7,700, got that big win. It confluenced with the lower time frame, right? Weekly was my entry, confluenced with the 4-day 200 moving average being underneath us. Over here, this was when I took this entry, by the way, the first entry, it wasn't a big position. It wasn't nearly as big as the position I took somewhere around here, 8,200, 8,180-ish. Why? Because we had the weekly 10K, weekly 21, as well as the daily. Got the big win, right? And what happens after? Coronavirus hits and stabs right through it, closing up underneath all major levels. But look what's been happening recently. We've come up here and we've been using this entire juncture, which includes the 200 moving average on the 4-day time frame as our resistance, right? So we could simply use this line over here as our baseline to take trades off, right? If we start closing candles above it, simply get in for a big move towards the upside. I'd be targeting first around 8,500, which is the top of the cloud, perhaps the bottom of the cloud. Perhaps if we actually close inside the cloud, we could look all the way up to 9,170. Look at that, guys. We are barely moving the cursor, and look how big the moves are, right? Just look at that. Okay, that's the kind of win you can get with patience. Okay, so again, on the 4-day time frame, we have 200 moving average as our resistance line, has acted really well in the past. In fact, look at this over here too. We had a bounce off it on this major capitulation. We did see a little bounce off the 4-day. Yes, we broke it right after, but on these moves, on these major capitulations, everything breaks, all right? There's no resistance. Nothing works as resistance and nothing works as support on a parabolic move either, right? It works both ways. So parabolic to the upside. So 4-day 200 moving average right over here. Now let's look at the 3-day. Okay, we're going through it all today. So go get yourself a glass of water or a cup of mango juice, if you will, and pause the video if you want to and come back. Take your time. Okay, so here we have the 3-day. The 3-day is actually very clear over here, very clear. Look at that, Tenkin, Kijun, 21 EMA, and the 200 moving average. And the 200 moving average on the 3-day has been just as powerful, if not more powerful than the 4-day, because it's a high time frame but gives you more trades, right? Very similar over here. You guys remember this big move to the downside where everybody started getting scared, but we were anticipating it. This, I think I was more in sync in the market for this entire move than any other trade before. I was in sync over here too. In fact, I nailed everything over here. Everything over here. The only time I messed up on this move to the upside was not taking the short trade on the retest of the daily 21 EMA. I should have taken that trade, but again, my excuse is Krisha's birthday. That's my excuse. That's what I'm telling myself, to have missed this massive move to the downside. Okay. Yeah. So over here, look what happened. We wicked all the way down to the Tenkin, but closed above the 3-day 200 moving average. And if you guys do remember, right after that, we were looking for the next 3-day candle. Even while you're doing this, guys, you're looking at the higher time frames. Some of you guys will remember this. I was like, all we have to wait for now is for the 3-day to close above this candle here, above the top of the cloud over here. Okay, and we didn't have to wait too long because this candle was about to close, so we had to wait just another 3 days. And what do you know, we closed the first 3-day candle, we closed above the 200 moving average, and the next 3-day candle we closed above the cloud, got the retest. Look at that, the charts are generous. You don't just be patient. Got the retest pretty close, boom. Right now, look at this over here too, based off really well. Okay, we've been using the 200 moving average on the 3-day, bounced off it over here, and then got squeezed, lost it once, right? Lost it once, but retook it immediately. But then look at how Bitcoin geared up slowly, got the squeeze, retested one last time. That was the big trade. I didn't. If you caught this one, that would. I don't know. I think I know someone who actually caught this one. If you actually got this one at 6,541, I'm not sure whether he took it off this though. But this was a really good trade, and poof, right, poof, all the way to the downside. Now we're here. But I want to emphasize something. How long did you have to wait? 1, 2, 3. Let's say you took the trade right over here after closing, took the short trade right after closing underneath the 200 moving average. You have to wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 days. 15 days before you got continuation on to the downside. So almost 2 weeks. Now, similarly, right over here, what happens? We took the 200 moving average to the downside, but retook it almost immediately. Okay, retook it almost immediately. So what we're looking for is 2 3-day candle closes. So essentially, you are looking to close. You want the candle, you want price to live an entire week, 6 days, right? Almost an entire week above the 3-day 200 moving average to get that confirmation. What does that mean? Patience. Okay, have we done that? Well, we took it. I actually forgot about this over here. We actually took it, but lost it immediately. Very similar to what we did over here, right? Now, could we jut back on over to the upside and start closing candles above this area? I'd be confident to take a long trade, and hey, perhaps all the way up to the cloud region over here. But we also have the 21 EMA to contend with. Over here we had space over there, so it was a little bit more safer to take this trade. I didn't take this trade. If you guys remember, I didn't take this trade. I waited for confirmation on the 4-day and then took my trade. Okay, so again, the resistance, there's resistance on the weekly, on the 4-day, on the 3-day. Now let's look at the 2-day. Kijun 21 EMA. In fact, if you just look at the 2-day, guys, this is the time frame I am interested in playing right now towards the downside. We haven't. Okay, if you take out this wick over here at 7,475, I'll be looking towards a move all the way up to 8,200. Okay, that's the trade that we could look for. But we are not doing that just yet, right? All we're doing is simply, it looks like we're going into an equilibrium. We actually this may end up being a low high. Okay, look at this wick over here. It took out this indecision candle right over here towards the underside. Was a low over here, 6,000. I can't see it over there. The cloud 6,552. Okay, so we took out the wick, but it's beginning to look very trappy. This candle in itself is really bullish. All right, really bullish. And if we take this wick out towards the upside after, or even if we close a candle above 7,175, I'd be looking towards 8,200. I'll have to think about that a little bit because there's resistance on the high time frame, but I think we're likely to go there. But if we do go there, right, we don't need to chase that trade. If it keeps shooting, goes parabolic after that, hey, it is what it is. We are in Bitcoin. We do not need to chase leverage trades against resistance. I'd rather wait for a retest of 7,200 and then take the trade towards the upside. But for now, even though this is a very bullish candle, the fact that we took out the stops underneath, very trappy over here, is bullish as well. I am not convinced until we start closing candles above 7,200. This may end up being a lower high. We may end up doing something. So we've done this and this and this. Maybe, right? Maybe. But it isn't clear just yet. If it's not clear, no reason to rush into the trade. Okay, so now we looked at the 2-day. Things are clear up to the 2-day time frame. Once you get into the daily and underneath, things start becoming really confusing, at least for me, and I have no shame in admitting that, because when things are not clear and you start trying to be a cocky, arrogant guy who thinks he knows what's going to happen every single time on every single time frame, that's when you start giving money away to the market, and I'm not interested in doing that. I really don't care what YouTube thinks of me. They can go find another channel to get those calls every single day. You're not going to find that over here on Mango. A lot of times you're just going to have to be patient and wait and wait and wait. Right? That's how we do it, and I think that's what trading is really about. That's how trading is, man. It's just freaking patience. Anybody making you think that it's action all the time, he's freaking lying to you. He's just lying to you. All right. Or you could play the 5-minute chart, and yes, there's action all the time. There's a trade all the time. So daily is very confusing to me. Why? Look at this. We've done this twice now. Close underneath the Tenkin, and it's based on my system, right? What I use, it's not working, right? On the daily, it's not working, and maybe there's somebody else's system on some other YouTube channel that you guys can go and find. Do Elliott wave, we're going left, right, center, blah blah blah, we're going everywhere, and then we're going to wave to the moon, we're going to wave to 1000, right? Maybe that's the kind of complex shit you guys are interested in. We're not going to be doing that here. By the way, Elliott wave is just a more advanced, fancier way of trend analysis, and in the Mango Seed program, in the advanced trend analysis module, we actually go through this, right? We actually show how, hey, you do not need any of that, right? There are basic rules. We've given setups for identifying different types of trends, and there are different types of trends, right? I don't want to get into it right now, but once you understand those concepts, you begin to realize that Elliott wave is just an extrapolation of those concepts made fancier. Now, I'm not saying there's no merit to that, but there's, in my opinion, diminishing returns to learn anything further than what I teach. But hey, again, I'm not here to disparage any Elliott wave traders. There is merit to it if you are an Elliott wave trader. Again, I'm sorry. Going back to what I was saying. The daily is really confusing. We close underneath the Tenkin over here, close underneath the Tenkin over here, and what do we do right after? Shoot on over to the upside, right? Both were trappy actions. And by the way, this was the area where I took that bad trade, if you guys do remember, right? Was it a bad trade now in hindsight, right? Was it a bad trade? No, it was a bad trade. I don't want to make excuses. But here, I did not take the trade. Why? Because I was cautious of something like this. But it still sucks because I was looking for further continuation to the downside, right? Okay, cool. So daily, looking very confusing to me. We are closing underneath major levels. We've been also oscillating around the 21 EMA. What do? We lose the 21 EMA finally because this was a major zone, okay? You could simply box this out over here, and say, hey, this is a major zone. If we close above 6,900, I'm expecting further continuation to the upside. If we close underneath 6,800, 6,750-ish, I'm expecting continuation to the downside. You could have said that. And we do pretty much both, okay? We closed underneath, and then the next day we closed above. So which direction do you take? If you took the direction towards the downside, you are getting bear trapped, right? If you take the direction to the upside, well, you're doing it against resistance. So it is confusing, but perhaps we see continuation now. Maybe, but we have cloud resistance over here as well, lining up with all the resistance that we talked about on the high time frames. But we closed above the Kijun, we've closed above the 21 EMA, but in my opinion, the 21 EMA, at least most recently, has not been it's been flatlining, right? You don't want to be taking trending moves on that. You can be taking range moves on that and using it as baseline, but I am not too keen on that right now. I'm not keen on the daily time frame at all. I talked about this in the seed a few days ago. I've been dismissing the daily 21 EMA, and by the nature of it, dismissing the daily time frame. Let's go on over to the 12 hour. The 12 hour has been giving you good trades. If you're playing the cloud, you're getting these edge-to-edge trades, and I was looking for this, but I'll talk about this when we get on to the 4 hour time frame as well. But again, still though, right, no trending moves. What have we been doing? Oscillating inside the cloud, and that is one of the rules of Ichimoku, to avoid taking trades within the cloud unless you're looking for these range trades, right? And I'm not looking for range trades on these time frames. I'm looking to get a good trending play. I think those moves are going to be the winners in the long term over the next few years. So I think we're going to get some really nice volatile movements, and if you just catch one move, if you're in position for that right move, it could be a big win, okay? And while everybody might get these nice wins over here, ranging, the big move, they will miss, okay? That's the trade-off. That is the trade-off. You cannot catch both. So 12 hour, again, we've retaken the Tenkin, retaken the 21 EMA, good signs, but against cloud resistance. Now, the 6 hour does have something interesting. this 200 moving average on the 6 hour, and we talked about this in the Mango Grove. Okay, join the Mango Grove, guys, while you can. I'm thinking of making it a private group very soon, so it is currently a free group, free to enter, but I'm not sure if I'll keep it open for long. This has been proving as resistance, right? I did take a trade off this towards the downside yesterday. We talked about this essentially over here, high, lower high. And is this a lower high? We'll talk about that very, very soon, but I want to talk about the trade first. I took the trade off this around, I didn't take it over here, I took it at around, I took it lower actually, 6,930-ish. Okay, and here's the thing, I took it off this 200 moving average, right? So what does that mean? It means that I'm invalidated if we close above this 200 moving average. Until then, I have to stay in the trade. And in these volatile moves, how do I manage it? Okay, I'm not going to get into that right now, but as long as we're closing underneath, I'm in the trade, right? And look at that, right? Everybody was getting so excited during this this candle over here, and I wasn't even looking at the charts. I didn't even know what was happening. As soon as we closed underneath the 200 moving average, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll simply wait for the next 6 hour candle. I come back 6 hours later. Okay, we're still underneath. Cool. I'm fine. Go to sleep. Okay, I wake up in the morning, and what do you know? We closed above. Okay, we closed above, and we took out this high as well. I'm like, okay, I need to get on my trade. What does the chart do for me? It comes pretty much all the way down to the 200 moving average, giving me a nice clean exit. Yes, I took a loss on this trade over here. I do take losses. Everybody does take losses as traders. If you are on a YouTube channel or any freaking I don't know what other social media, Instagram apparently people use for trading. If people are only taking wins, guys, be very skeptical. So yeah, just got out of the trade. Okay, invalidated out of the trade. Do not find reason to stay in your trade. Do not be stubborn. Okay, so out of the trade. Now, what do I do from here? Do I take a long trade to the upside? It's tempting, right? But don't get tunnel visioned. That's when you zoom out. That's when you restart. That's when you start again. Monthly, weekly, 3-day, 4-day, 2-day. Keep going down. Okay, not too keen over here, but this is looking good. You could look at this as a channel, right? Let's now, should we do it here? No. Now I want to move on over to the 4-hour time frame. We'll turn on the Ichimoku again, and we talked about this as well in our previous video, right? What are we looking for? Oops, my apologies, guys. What are we looking for? For the 4-hour to close multiple candles above the Kijun, above the cloud. And hey, it looks like we're doing just that, right? So this is beginning to start favoring the bull turn towards the upside, okay? Perhaps a move to retest those levels on the higher time frames, okay? So we are seeing some good action over here. It does seem to be a little bit of some hesitance with these wicks over here. You're seeing sell pressure, but it's getting picked up. It's getting picked up. It's getting picked up on the Kijun over there. We're holding above the cloud. Good signs, right? And now this is where it gets interesting, and we did also talk about this in our previous videos, especially in the video that we did recently, right? We talked about this 200 moving average over here on the 4-hour time frame. We talked about how Bitcoin is going to likely come and find some support over there and then see a bounce. Now, did I expect a bounce this aggressive? No, but if we go back, we go zoom all the way back to where we broke down from 10,000, we're looking at how we put in a rising channel, rising wedge, whatever you want to call it, all the way to 10,300, broke the daily trend, okay, broke the daily trend, and then we came and based off the 200 moving average, had a bounce, similar to what we were doing right now, but right now our bounce is a lot more aggressive, right? We've pretty much come all the way up to the equivalent of coming up to 10,200 again. Over here, we only went up to 9,900, 10,000. It was pretty good, actually. It was pretty close enough to 10,200. But over here, it is really, really close. In fact, I do think we put in a high too. So we've not closed above these kind of closes over here at 7,134. Looks like we may do that very soon, though. I'm not entirely sure, but we've put in a new high above these highs over here. Was this a liquidity hunt, though, right? That's left to be seen. And if it was, we're going to see a big move back on over to the 200 moving average, probably even break it. But let's see, because a lot of traders are going to be trapped over there. It's too early to say that right now. However, with this move over here now, right, with this bounce of the 200 moving average, we now have a potential channel that we can draw that Bitcoin may have broken. We do have the volume too. Yep. This is a break right over here, guys. Okay, I'm drawing this for the first time, so forgive me. Yep, right over there. Okay, I'm using candle closes. You guys can use wicks. There's no one way to draw it, which is why I do not put too much emphasis on trend lines, on diagonal lines at the very least, because it's too subjective. So broke out of the upside, tested it too. And this was, if you guys caught this trade, not a bad trade at all. And however, overhead resistance on the higher time frame, especially at around 7,200, 7,400, 7,000. There's a lot of overhead resistance over here. But we do have the setup. We do have the setup to break this, right? Actually, what would the measured move be for this? What would the measured move be? Actually, no. It would just take us back to the top of the range, right? But hey, maybe with momentum, the tides might be turning, and then we'll get the easier trades, and that's all we want, right? We want easier trades. We don't want to be right. We don't want to be wrong. We just want to make money, all right? That's all it is. Now, breaking back into the cloud, inside the cloud will likely have us make a move back down to 6,600. The big sign over here was, and I ignored the sign. I looked at it and I decided hand wave it off because it's lower time frame, right? I don't blame myself at all. It was closing back into the cloud. After making this move down here, guys, we closed the 4 hour back into the cloud. And I do believe Joe from the Mango Seed program, she had mentioned this. Okay, I'm beginning to wonder whether we should get her to do analysis for us and we trade her analysis, because she notices things that I would miss, or Krisha would miss. Apparently, she caught a really good was it I forgot what, but something on one of the other time frames that I wouldn't look at, and she told Krisha, and then Krisha told me, and I'm like, hey, good catch, Krisha. And Krisha was like, no, that was actually Joe. She deserves credit for that. So yeah, good stuff, Joe. Good stuff. I'm impressed. Okay, so now the question is, was this a trap over here, or do we see continuation on over to the upside? Remember, we have resistance around 7,400, so if you're going to trap a lot of people, this might be a very good area to do it. We can go ahead and look at the oscillators over here to see if we have any signs. This isn't telling us much, but if we start seeing a loss of momentum, these will start crossing down. Do we have bearish divergence? We do have bearish divergence between this point and this point, but you can make the argument that this is too far away, and I would say, you know what, better safe than sorry, and sometimes better not to look at it. But there's divergence between these 2 points over here. Let's look at the 1 hour. Actually, 1 hour might tell us a little bit more. 1 hour has bearish divergence between this point here and this point here. That is clear as a day. Likely gonna make our way back to at least 7,020-ish. Let's turn on. If we lose this 7,020-ish, perhaps even get a retest of the 200 moving average over here, but that would actually take a at the very least, I think we'll come back down to 7,015, okay, if this plays out. But will that have followed through then? Will that have cascading effects onto the high time frames? And by high time frames, this time I'm referring to the 4 hour time frame, right, going higher. So let's go back on over to the oscillators over here. 4 hour, not telling me much. 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour stochastics have crossed on over to the downside. 3 hour are beginning to cross, so that could be the first sign before the 4 hour crosses. So that's that. 12 hour looks good. So 12 hour is looking really good, actually. Yeah, 12 hours looking good. So I would say that I would lean for this retesting. Okay, how about this? I wouldn't be too quick to be bearish for a downside move over here, or continuation towards the downside, until I start seeing the 12 hour as well as the 6 hour lose momentum on their momentum oscillators. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So we literally went through all the time frames right now, right? I hope you guys are getting a good idea of what's happening, and that's how I essentially broke down my process. Of course, I can't go through my entire process. This video will freaking be 2-3 hours long, but this is essentially how I do it, guys. Now we can do a quick recap on Bitcoin before I move on to Chainlink. I do want to talk about Chainlink. There's not much to talk about Chainlink. It's very easy to very clear. It's if this then that with Chainlink. We can look at the daily. We clearly have resistance overhead over here, guys. We're looking at the daily. Just okay. You know what? Let's not look at the daily. Let's look at the 2-day. We have overhead resistance at the Kijun, 21 EMA. Why 21 EMA? Because we haven't closed over it yet, right? We have 21 hours before we close. If we close above it, that'll be the first sign. But I want to see now also close above the Kijun. I want essentially Bitcoin to retake this cluster over here on the 2-day time frame. The easiest trade would be if we take out this wick over here at 7,450-ish and close above the Kijun. That would be the easy trade, okay? And it's not about being bearish or bullish here. I just want the easy trade. I want something to be clear for me, and then I'll take that trade. Okay, people make it about, hey man, I want to be right. It's bearish, and I want Bitcoin to do this because why? Because I told everyone I'm bearish, and now I need to be right. right? Don't get stuck into that mindset, right? Don't get stuck into the mindset with your friends either. Okay, it's hard enough to talk to YouTube, and I don't blame them, because you're talking to YouTube and you won't be right, at which you're thinking, man, everyone's going to think I'm wrong. And then when you start getting to that mindset, you end up losing money just because you want to be right. Don't get into that mindset. Tenkin towards the downside, moving aggressively all the way down to 6,000 now. Do we actually, and that lines up, right? If we do come down again, we are likely going to have an aggressive move, but Tenkin does have 2-day support at 6,000, so keep that in mind. I think this is one of the first high time frames that we've taken out the Tenkin, because I don't think we've taken it out on the 3-day just yet. In fact, on the 3-day we are pressing down. The Tenkin is pressing down on price action, being used as resistance. We're closing a 3-day and a 2-day tomorrow, so the 3-day Tenkin is what is holding price down right now. It's like smacking it down, as you can see. So the most bearish thing is if you lose the 3-day 200, the 3-day Tenkin as well as the 3-day 10 simple moving average. That would be really, really bearish, because that would line up with us losing the 2-day again, right? The 2-day 10 simple moving average. So remember, guys, we close underneath the 2-day 10 simple moving average. I forgot to start with that. I should have started with that. My apologies. That was our big sign, because Bitcoin has been using it as support. Now the question is, do we see follow through after that? If we actually close underneath it again, that's going to line up with us losing the 3-day 10 simple moving average as well, and that is going to be something new again, because we've been living above for the past 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 21 days, 3 weeks. So that's Bitcoin. Let's move on to Chainlink. I hope I'm yeah, cool. It is recording. Link USD. Look at Link USD and look at the daily first. Very, very clear, right? We'll hide the mango ribbon for now. And very clear, we can simply play the ranges, and that's essentially what I did. I sold when we cracked underneath $3 and 30 this line over here, $3.35. It was a lot easier than it looks over here, because on the 4-hour time frame you got a good entry when we broke that rising channel somewhere around right over here, right? You got a retest at $3.32. I got my entry at $3.30 or something like that. Went down to the bottom of the range over here, lined up perfectly with the 4-hour Kijun. That's where I actually front ran it a little bit at around $2.99 or something like that. And I actually took out only half of my position A, by the way, just to be fully clear / transparent with that. And as soon as we closed above the 4-hour 21 EMA over here, I got out of the rest of the position. Hey, yes, I could have had way more profits if I closed the entire position over here, but if we broke towards the downside, I'd rather have continuation possibility versus trying to milk everything. Now that was a trade-off I made before putting on the position, right? Mentally I told myself, this is what I'm going to do, this is the plan I'm going to stick with, and if whatever happens. You made the trade already, stick to the plan. You've made all the decisions, stick to the plan. Close over the 4-hour 21 EMA. That's basically what we took our trade off, right? Because we were looking at Chainlink, close above, and then finally lose it. Took the trade towards the downside. Now the question is, does this have continuation and start spilling on over to the higher time frames? Do we start losing 21 EMAs on the 12-hour, the daily next? And looks like we didn't, right? Higher time frames always win for this reason, guys. Let's go ahead and check it out. Did we lose the 12-hour 21? Nope, we did not lose it. Of course, we didn't lose the daily either, right? So there you go. The higher time frames stepped in and won, even though the 4-hour was losing its trend, right? This is why I play the higher time frames as priority, which is why I'm not. It's like essentially, if you were longing Bitcoin in these areas is like shorting into Chainlink right over here. Okay, so if you guys are Chainlink fans and laughing at anybody shorting into this, you guys should be laughing at yourselves if you're longing into Bitcoin at the higher time frames too. So would you short into Chainlink here? Would you short into Chainlink around here? Right? So think about that before longing into Bitcoin onto the higher time frames. So Bitcoin is a way more mature chart, right? So you don't want to be so you want to be looking at the higher time frames, even higher time frames than you do with Chainlink. We're looking at the daily and the 12-hour, man. So with Bitcoin you should be looking at even higher, right? It's far more mature. Okay, so back on our Chainlink, this M-like formation over here, which we broke onto the downside, is essentially giving us our guide for our blue box strategy over here. It is also weekly resistance. So until Chainlink actually closes candles above here, there's no reason to long into this. Same philosophy. You could actually be looking to short into this, and we could be putting in a lower high, a very, very tight lower high, but a lower high nonetheless. Right over here, it's looking really bullish. Am I eager to short into this? No, of course not. I'd rather again look for a very, very similar trade where we break down underneath the 10 SMA. and then I'll be looking for continuation over here. Okay, this kind of momentum, especially on a chart like Chainlink, can be scary. Can be scary. So let's see actually if we have anything on the lower time frames indicating any weakness. No, not on the 4 hour. Let me clear everything out. Let me look at the oscillators, and there's nothing really. So this I would not be too eager over here. I'd actually wait a little bit. You could literally get the same trade, guys. You could get the same trade. It's similar to how I did not short over here, right? What did I wait for? I waited for the loss of the 21 EMA on the 4 hour. Why? Because it lined up with the top of the blue box here. So again, the 4 hour 21 EMA is coming up and lining up here, so we may actually get the same trade again, and I'll take the same trade. We'll keep taking the same trade, right? Why not? It's easy. Okay, so oh, is there anything else I do want to talk about? No, we can look at Chainlink on the weekly, right? But essentially, we have our territories marked out. We have this area here and this area. If we close the weekly above here, it'd be really good because we're also closing daily candles above that zone, and then we can look for further upside all the way up to $3.86. After closing above there, we can look for further upside all the way up to $4.45. But hey, one step at a time. Let's look at daily oscillators. This is a little bit concerning, so keep that in mind. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Early morning video for you guys. Leave a comment down below. Do you enjoy these timings, or would you rather our older timings? Because I've been doing videos a little bit later than this, and I've also been doing videos later towards the evening / afternoon. So it really depends on what time zone you guys enjoy the most, because I know you guys are watching from around the world, but again, depends on what you guys like. I'll try and make it work. That being said, my name is Sean Dexter, and man, the sun actually just popped up over the mountains and the clouds now. Wow, I love the bright morning, guys. I hope you guys are doing it the mango way. Do the stress-free way. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.